In recent years, airlines from both sides of the Pacific have opened up new direct routes connecting cities between North America and Asia. Travelers now have a wide selection of options to choose from when crossing the Pacific with airlines based in both continents. From North America, United leads the way with trans-Pacific flights, while Delta has focused its connecting traffic to Asia through its joint venture with Korean Air. Meanwhile, Air Canada has stepped up its presence in Asia, going beyond Japan and Korea recently by launching new direct flights to cities in Southeast Asia, including Singapore, Bangkok, and Manila. Meanwhile, noticeably quiet is another North American-based airline, American Airlines. For an airline that is among the world's biggest, it does seem odd that American Airlines lacks a network of direct flights to cities in Asia compared to its fellow North American counterparts. However, it has not been for a lack of trying. Instead, American has faced challenges such as a lack of history in the region and intense competition on routes from the North American West Coast hubs. From its U.S. hubs, American operates flights to 5 cities in Asia and the Middle East. The main focus in Asia for American is at Tokyo, Japan, where the airline operates flights to both of the Japanese capital's air hubs, Haneda and Narita. Most of American's operations in Tokyo are based at Haneda, the closest hub to the Tokyo city center, where the airline operates direct flights from Dallas-Fort Worth, Los Angeles, and New York's JFK Airport. At Narita, the airline operates direct flights to Dallas-Fort Worth. When it comes to its services to Japan, American is the only US-based airline offering direct flights between Haneda and JFK Airport. Beyond Tokyo, American's other Asia Middle East destinations are served from just one of their US hubs. Flights to Seoul Incheon and Shanghai Pudong's airport depart from Dallas, Delhi from New York's JFK, and Doha from Philadelphia. With a flight time of approximately 16 hours, the JFK Delhi is American's longest on its network. American has previously operated flights to Hong Kong and Beijing before the pandemic, though as of the recording of this video, the routes to these two cities have not yet been resumed. American's network in Asia pales in comparison to its US-based counterparts such as United and Delta. United's network covers 14 cities and 15 airports in Asia, including the 3 cities in Japan, Tokyo, Osaka, Nagoya, and 2 in China, Beijing and Shanghai. United is also the only US-based airline to operate direct flights from at least one of its US hubs to Singapore, Manila, Delhi, and Dubai. In addition, the Chicago-based airline also has a small hub in Guam in the Western Pacific. While it doesn't have the extensive network in Asia as United, Delta operates flights to 4 destinations in Asia: Taipei, Shanghai, Seoul Incheon, and Tokyo's Haneda Airport. Like United, the Atlanta-based Delta Airlines offers flights to multiple US hubs from Haneda and Incheon. Regarding American's small footprint in Asia, one of the big reasons for American's lesser footprint in the region is it doesn't have a long history in Asia compared to United and Delta. Much of the success and the current expansion in Asia United has done can be traced to the airline inheriting 2 former airlines: Pan American with its presence in Tokyo, and Continental Airlines, which had a hub in the US Western Pacific territory of Guam. Meanwhile, Delta inherited its presence in Tokyo through its merger with Northwest Airlines in the late 2000s. For American, its presence in Asia began later when it introduced flights to Tokyo from Dallas in 1987. The Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas-based airline would later launch flights in the 1990s to Tokyo from San Jose, California, and Seattle. Services would later be launched to China and India after its acquisition of TWA in the early 2000s. Meanwhile, the former airlines that have been integrated into the modern United and Delta have been serving cities in the region since the 1960s. As a result, American does not have much of the local knowledge and established connections for operating within Asia beyond Japan and Korea compared to United and Delta. Regarding the lead on trans-Pacific flights by United, much of its direct flights to Asia depart from San Francisco, though the airline has also successfully launched more routes from its hubs across the US, including Los Angeles, Newark, Washington Dulles, and Chicago. Delta has also used its hubs in Los Angeles and Seattle for its own trans-Pacific flights. Meanwhile, American lacks a US West Coast hub for its flights to Asia. Instead, American operates its flights to Tokyo, Shanghai, and Seoul from its main base at Dallas-Fort Worth. Dallas is further from Asia compared to the cities along the US West Coast, yet American has had a difficult time to establish trans-Pacific routes from the cities close to Asia such as Los Angeles and Seattle. On paper, Los Angeles would be an ideal base for American to expand its presence in Asia. However, it is a competitive market for US airlines for domestic and international flights. In addition to the US-based airlines, Asian airlines looking to expand in the US often pick Los Angeles for their first destination in the country, resulting in an oversupply of flights between Los Angeles and Asia. This resulted in losses for American from Los Angeles, which was confirmed in a report of an American Airlines employee meeting by The View from the Wing in 2022. According to the report, the airline was losing money on international flights from Los Angeles, specifically on the long-haul flights to China and South America, even before the pandemic. The report cited Brian Zottens, American's VP of Network Planning, remarking on the losses in Los Angeles during the employee meeting, saying, quote, "The rest of the hub actually did fairly well. So flying to China, flying to South America, that was tens of millions of dollars in losses." Zottens further addressed the airline's position and the oversupply of flights between Los Angeles and Asia at the time, saying, quote, "And what we found is that LA to Asia is almost in a perpetual state of oversupply because all of these foreign airlines that need to be in LA, even if the capacity isn't warranted. And so flying to Beijing, Shanghai, Hong Kong, all of these routes were very challenging for us to turn a profit." From Los Angeles, American does operate some international flights, with the lone route to Asia being to Tokyo's Haneda Airport. American would later shift its focus to develop a new international hub in Seattle, where it had a partnership with a now one-world partner airline, Alaska Airlines. For this plan, Snowden said, quote, "And then furthermore, if we can take some of these airplanes that we do want to fly to China and fly out of Seattle instead, where we have less of an oversupply situation, a great partnership with Alaska, who can help feed those airplanes not just from connections but from the local traffic, the Microsofts, and the Amazons of the world who need to go to China, we can build up a bit of an Asian connecting operation." From Seattle, American had plans to launch long-haul flights to London, Shanghai, and Bengaluru, India. However, only one of the routes, to London Heathrow, was launched as the plans were stifled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In addition, Russian airspace restrictions would then make the operation of flights to Asia from Seattle much more difficult. While trying to grow its network in Asia, American Airlines has encountered challenges, some of which are beyond its control, such as the pandemic and the Russian airspace restrictions that have hampered its plans in the region. Despite lacking in direct trans-Pacific air routes, American Airlines customers are able to take advantage of the airline's One World Alliance partner airlines for travel between North America and Asia, such as with Japan Airlines and Cathay Pacific. American will likely continue to rely on its airline partners to serve its customers traveling to Asia, while the airline continues to focus on where it is competitive, such as within the US and on transatlantic flights. Though if the current airspace restrictions over Russia are eased, that could make American consider relaunching services to cities like Hong Kong and Beijing. Do you see any new opportunities for American Airlines to launch new routes or to expand its services in Asia? I definitely would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. In the meantime, this has been Flights in Asia, highlighting the news and updates in the aviation and travel scene in the Asia Pacific. Thank you for watching and have a great day.